are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight WGN Sports presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, Jake Peavy, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Dale Swaim's crosstown rival, Chicago Cubs. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you Game 2 of this three-game series. As you know, in the opener last night, we just got our butts kicked. They won it 12-3. Tonight, a different story. Jake Peavy on the bump.
Jake Peavy's been terrific, and he's 7-2 lifetime against the Cubs, including beating them the last 5 times in a row. He's a man we need at this point to help stop the bleeding. He can keep the ball in the ballpark with his sinker, and tonight it's going to be windy again. It's going to be very hot. Travis Wood goes to the mound for the Cubs. He's 0-3. He hasn't won in his last 9 starts back to last year. He came over from the Cincinnati Reds. Hopefully we can take advantage of a soft-tossing left-hander and win the second game of the series.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Cheeseburger! Pressure, man.
Chicago White Sox baseball in high definition is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Tonight's game is available in Spanish on your SAP audio setting provided by 97.5 FM ESPN Deportes, Chicago's first and only FM Spanish language sports radio station. It's a beautiful night for baseball, 88 degrees, and let's take a look at how Dale Swaim is going to line up his Cubs tonight. David DeJesus leading off, and then his star shortstop, Castro, along with Lajer, Soriano, Clevenger, Barney, Valbuena, Soto, and Campana rounded out. The defense, and now they'll line up behind Jake Peavy, left to right, Viciedo, Diaza, Rios. In the infield, Hudson, Ramirez, Beckham, and Canerco. Tyler Flowers gets a nod behind the plate. And Jake Peavy goes to the mound. Jake 6-2. This is his 14th start. ERA 1.291. Got a couple of complete games. Opponents hitting just .202, which is a great number. He faced the Cubs at Wrigley Field, and he shut them down completely. So the umpires for the game tonight, behind the plate is C.B. Buckner. At first base, Bill Miller. Second base, Dale Scott. Third base, Dan Iasonia. So the wind once again a factor, although not near as much as last night. It's still going to be a very lively ballpark, as the Cubs, who had 50 home runs coming into last night, hit 5 of them. Our Sox hit a couple of them. You look at Dale Swaim, the first-year manager of the Cubs, and there you see the wind blowing toward right center field, but it swirls in this ballpark, and you can never really tell. Last night, it really didn't matter as the ball went out to all 3 fields. So they've thrown the ball around the infield. We're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Steve. Thank you very much. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over WGN Sports. So happy you could join us for Game 2 of this 3-game set and Game 2 of the 6-game homestand. Off day on Thursday, but then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Brew Crew comes into town. But right here, David DeJesus gets set to lead it off. And the first pitch of the ball game taken for a strike. DeJesus 0 for 3 last night, comes in hitting at .257, a couple of homers. He's driven in 19. Outfield about equidistant, slightly to the left. Count evens at 1. Cubs can hitting at .248 as a team with a 4.32 team ERA. Cubs 23-44 on the season and 9-25 on the road. Ground ball, foul.
DeJesus came up with Kansas City, and he played some center field for them. He can play all 3 outfield positions. The Cubs originally got him to play right field, but he doesn't have big power and doesn't have great speed. He's better suited for center field, and that's where we've seen him in this series.
31-year-old right-hander's next pitch. He gone.
Jake changed his eye levels and throws a 4-seam fastball up in the eyes of DeJesus. He worked him down. Then when he went to put him away, he worked him upstairs with the fastball.
Yeah, it'll bring up the 22-year-old shortstop, Starlin Castro. 3 for 5 last night with a homer and 2 RBIs. He's 3 for 8 lifetime off Jake. As that pitch up high, and here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straight away center. A beautiful evening here in the city. Beautiful. And that young man can hit.
But he is the #1 building block of the Chicago Cubs. And with a brand new administration, this is a guy they look to lead the way. He's got great plate coverage. That ball on the outside corner down. Castro takes it to right field. He's their second most productive base stealer, so Jake's going to have to keep an eye on it.
Well, from what we've seen of him, Steve, it's just very apparent. If you can't pitch him inside, he's going to beat you.
You know, we didn't do a whole lot of that last night. It's something Jake's going to have to address tonight.
Pretty good pitch, didn't get it right there.
Here's another guy that you have to throw in under his hands, because he's got great plate coverage and he's very strong.
Brian LaHare, 2 for 5 last night. He got him on the board with that 2-run homer. That was in the 3rd inning. And the count moves to 2-0. LaHare, 29 years old. Pretty good lead by Castro. Castro, 16 for 23 in stolen bases.
What Jake would really like to do is either throw him a cutter inside or a change up away and hope he rolls over it to the right side.
Hudson well back and well off the line of third. Outfield just almost straight away.
Get a look at Pat Listash, the third base coach. Dave McKay, the first base coach.
Dave McKay was with Tony La Russa for a long time.
With him in Oakland, with him in St. Louis, picked up rings in both places.
Tony loves him like a brother. We had a long talk about him the other day when we were in St. Louis.
Well, the Cubs got a good one when they got McKay because he understands baseball. More importantly, he understands winning baseball.
Well, that's the key. A lot of people know something about baseball. Not a whole bunch know a lot about winning baseball.
That watch he's looking at, he's timing Jake's move to the plate. He's going to find that it's pretty quick. He also has a very good move to first.
So a full count. Soriano on deck.
Here's where if Jake is holding back that good move, it's a good time to run for Castro.
There he goes. There's to strike him out and to throw him out. He gone. And that'll do it after half inning of play. Yes, their guys nothing, and our guys coming back.
It's Diaza leading off with Gordon Beckham hitting second, then Adam Dunn, Paul Konerko, Alex Rios, Diane Viciedo, Alexi Ramirez, Tyler Flowers, who made that good throw, and Orlando Hudson playing third and hitting ninth. The defense, and how they'll line up behind Travis Wood. Campana, De Jesus, and LaHare in the outfield with Valbuena, Castro, Barney, and Clevenger in the infield. Giovanni Soto, who homered last night behind the plate, and Travis Wood on the hill. Wood 0-3, the ERA 4.5, on for his 7th start. He's a soft-tossing left-hander from the Cincinnati Reds. They got him in exchange for Sean Marshall. Marshall has fit nicely in the Reds bullpen. Wood got sent down to the minor leagues, went early. It didn't work out for him with the Cubs, but now he's back in the rotation.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as first pitch strike to Alejandro De Aza. De Aza 0 for 4 last night, comes in hitting at .296. And that's popped up left side. Get out of here. It will. The wind will take it right over the dugout. De Aza with 4 homers, 28 knocked in. Sox hitting at .255 as a club with a 4.11 ERA. Sox come in 35 and 32. 16 and 19 here at home.
Most amazing part of the American League Central, there's not one team over 500 at home. The Indians, the best, at 18 and 18. Tied 1-1 with Cincinnati. That game in the bottom of the 4th in Cleveland.
And that's a good way to start it. Good speed aboard. Alejandro 14 for 19 in stolen bases.
Wood rolls a breaking ball. This one right down the middle. And De Aza waited back, drove it to the right side. And a very promising start to the bottom of the 1st inning.
So here's Beckham. Gordon at .236, 8 homers and 27 driven in. Beckham 1 for 3 last evening.
This Cub team has made 50 errors to our 29. 12 of them by Castro at shortstop. Dale Swain with a very difficult rebuilding job and a team that's going to be very active as sellers at the trade deadline.
And this should be quickly 2 down. So with 2 out, let's check out our BMW picks to click. Jim and Joe, our director and crew. They went with Flowers. Steve's going with Ramirez and Fred Walter. Andy Blount, Bob Reeves, all my buddies from St. Louis. We're going to go with Beckham. And for a limited time, get incredible lease deals on the 2012 BMW 3 Series. Visit ChicagolandBMW.com for more information. Good hack. Just underneath it. Adam 1 for 4 last evening. And the count 0-2.
Outfield very deep, and with an 0-2 count, Campana actually moves closer to the line and left.
Chops that one foul. And as we speak, top of the 5th in Detroit, 4-0 Tigers over St. Louis. That's Verlander against Lance Lynn. After 4 in Cleveland, tied at 1 with Cincinnati. Good check. That 92-mile-an-hour fastball up and away. And that'll do it. After 1, there is no score. Soriano, Clevenger, and Barney to face our Jake Peavy. And that's going to be a souvenir right side.
Jake knows better than to throw Soriano down in the strike zone. He's a dead low ball hitter, always has been. He will expand his zone. When you go get him with a fastball, you want to keep it in, and you'd preferably like to keep it around letter high.
Just goes to show you what a good mistake hitter he is in his career. And you know somebody's got a definitive hole like he does, and he still puts up the numbers like he does. That's pretty good.
Well, he kills 4s and 5s in the rotation, some of the 3s, and the middle relievers he murders.
That's into right center field. Diaz, can of corn. Well, that's how most hitters in the big leagues make their living. They don't hit the 1s and the 2s. That's the reason they're 1s and 2s.
If you can do that and do it productively, you might get yourself an 8-year, $136 million contract.
And that's been done before.
You're looking at it.
Here's Clevenger. Steve hitting at 284, no homers. He's driven in 9. Softly hit. Doc Edwards shot. 2 down.
The difference in Jake these days and the 2007 Cy Young Award winner is that Jake understands getting a 1-pitch out is of critical importance. Back in latter days, he had that hard slider, hard sinker, struck out a lot of guys. That's not the Peavy of today, but he's adjusted magnificently.
Here's a tough customer to plate. Darwin Barney takes a strike. Darwin 1 for 5 last night with an RBI. Comes in at 272, 3 homers. He's driven in 22. But against us, he is just nails.
Darwin will put the bat on the ball. 24 strikeouts and 232 at bats.
High and to short left field. Tank now calling off Alexei is there. That didn't take long. 1, 2, 3 after an inning and a half. No score. Fans, we want to recognize your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers for their support of local youth baseball leagues. Through the Chevy Youth Baseball Program, the local Chevrolet dealers support over 30,000 young ball players in their communities by providing leagues with equipment kits, instructional clinics, and financial support. From the big leagues to the youth leagues, Chevy is truly the official vehicle of baseball. It'll be Paulie, Rios, and Tank here in the bottom of the second. Takes ball one. It comes in at 359, 13 homers and 38 knocked in.
Shift is a little different tonight. Last night with Garza pitching, hit Darwin Barney on the third base side of second. Now he's on the second base side.
Look at that snap right there. Wow. Nice play.
Fortunately for Wood, it's on the glove side. And he makes a terrific play.
Hang Wolf, Borkenero. Here's Alex. Alex at 291, 8 homers and 35 knocked in. Wood, 25 years old, 5'11", 175 out of Alexander, Arkansas. That's top foul. And a reminder that Hooters is the official road game restaurant of our White Sox. Come into any Chicagoland area Hooters when our Sox are on the road to catch the games on their flat screen HD TVs and enjoy great Miller Bear features. Hooters. Hooters, the original wing joint.
Cub defense is playing Rios as more of a pull hitter than Konerko. Well, Barney's on the third base side of second.
He did not go, says Bill Miller. Three and one, the count to Alex.
Pretty good looking hat.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
I like that hat. And there's ball four. So good speed aboard. It's 8 for 11 in stolen bases.
And Wood has had problems giving up the long ball. 7 home runs in 36 innings. That's a high total.
Here's Tank. Tank at 260, 12 homers and 30 driven in. Good eye. Fouls that back right underneath Steve.
No chance for that one. A little more on it and make it up here. We haven't had one yet in the booth, have we?
Yeah. One. Hit the camera.
Well, that's okay.
There he goes. And he's safe. Ball goes into center field. So now the stolen base. And the error. We're cooking with a man at third, 1 out.
Soto just back off the disabled list, had minor knee surgery, and he commits his 5th error of the year. He throws this one well wide of the bag. Barney has no chance whatsoever. This is a tailing throw. He got shielded by Rios, who's now 90 feet away.
And the infield in. 3-1 to count. Big hack, but the count runs full.
Wood has tried to keep everything inside on Viciato.
They're pitching him the way we got to pitch Casper.
Inside off the plate if you can get ahead.
And that's ball 4. So a couple of walks, runners at the corners, one down, and here comes Alexei. Alexei hitting at 230, a homer. He's driven in 29.
Soto taking a look into the dugout, giving a set of signs to the infield if Viciedo decides to take off.
Good eye. Just off the inside corner. For the first pitch in a sequence like this, going out runners at the corners is huge. Now he's got the catbird seat.
Arms in the outfield all the way around, just okay for the Cubs. Swing around, we show you the defense. Once again, Barney playing pretty much up the middle. And to Jesus, moderately deep in center field.
That's it high into right field. Wynn trying to bring it back. It does. So a ground rule double as Alex scores. Tank into third. Sox lead it 1-0. That ball was foul and came back in fair.
We saw it with an AJ home run earlier in the year. LaHare seemed to give up on it. This ball is on the outer portion of the plate. It's slicing foul, but that wind very heavy. Just brought it back and landed well in fair territory for RBI number 30.
So here is Tyler. Once again, the infield in. Ducks on the pond, one down. And he takes just off the inside corner.
It should be evident to Travis Wood by this point that he's not getting the inside corner from Cindy Buck. He could continue to go in there, but it's going to be ball one. He's going to have to work something else.
Takes the strike. When he missed that first one, he wants to come back with a strike. You got to be looking for that fastball. Get after it. That changeup outside.
Right now he hasn't hit with a changeup at all. We haven't seen much of a breaking ball, so you can, yeah, you can go up there pretty much looking fastball, and you can rest assured that at least 2 out of every 3 you're going to get it, maybe more.
Especially on one open. And now he's 3-1. But Hudson on deck.
We'll lose him, and we're going to see our first look at Chris Bosio, brand new pitching coach for the Cubs.
One of my favorite guys.
Tough guy.
Oh.
You can bet that a lot of these Cub pitchers who never pitched inside will pitch inside with Chris Bosio.
Yeah, give him the opportunity. Don't help him out. Zero him. Change up. And he helped him out. Full count. Get young hitters up there in situations like this. And that's ball 4. Third walk of the inning.
So far, Chris Bosio sitting there, content to let his left-hander struggle somewhat.
So here's Hudson. And he takes in there, ball one.
He can keep going in there and keep getting ball one called or make some sort of an adjustment. Hopefully he will not make an adjustment.
Fouls that back. Well, every game is a game of adjustments. As we had Scottie Pippen up last night. He was talking about how the adjustments have to be made. We know that in basketball. Adjustments most of the time at halftime, you know, made in football. There are more adjustments made in this game right here than the other two put together. You have to make adjustments sometime from pitch to pitch here, whether it be the pitcher or the hitter. Could not check it up. And the count 1-2 with De Aza on deck.
Could use a little contact here, especially to any of the outfielders. Because although Viciedo is not overly fast, you're going to gamble. The bases loaded, and even 250 for Orlando with one grand slam.
He's got to throw a strike.
He can't throw it with the straight change. He's missed outside with every one of them. Now, I heard he's swung at a couple, but he hasn't thrown any in the zone.
Payoff. And he pops him up. Hit him on the fist. Infield fly rule is called, and that is a huge out.
Xfinity Pitch Tracks will show you a little cutter that actually had the inside part of the plate. Got inside. And it's a big at bat now for De Aza.
He singled to right to start off last inning. Takes a breaking ball outside.
That's a 41st delivered by Wood, which is a very high total when you're not through two.
Giovanni.
A lot of people thought when the Cubs activated Soto that they would keep three catchers, because Wellington Castillo is one of their catchers who swings the bat well. But they decided on a left-handed reliever, Scott Maine, sent Castillo down to the minor leagues, and at least for the two starts he's been active, they're starting Soto.
Takes it right there. And the count 1-2. We get 3 walks with a double and come up with 1. We lead at 1-0. First pitch strike to Luis Valbuena, leading off here in the top of the third. Now guys lead at 1-0. Valbuena hitting at .294, a couple of homers. He's driven in 7, but has always hit well against us. That ball's hammered. Look at the play by Diaza, fighting that wind, stays right with it. Yes! Nice catch, Alejandro. Valbuena doesn't appreciate it.
Diaza got a great jump on this ball that was slicing away from him off the bat of the left-hander. Looked like it was ticketed for the gap. He drifts across, secures the ball after he juggles it. Takes a 2-base hit away from Valbuena, who was claimed on waivers from the Toronto Blue Jays before the season started.
Oh, Valbuena did last night, go 3 for 5 with a homer and 3 RBIs.
Keep the ball away from Soto, you're usually in pretty good shape. He's trying to pull just about everything.
Tops that one foul. That list dash made the play, and the fan made the error. Two and one to count. Took a little something off that one. A little spinner. Ball hit hard. Hudson sucks it up. And bad throw. And they don't get him. So that'd been an error on Hudson. Had plenty of time to come over the top. Decided to go underneath. Make a second baseman's throw on that one instead of the third baseman.
Well, Hudson has plenty of arm, and we've seen it so often where you take a play for granted. You want to flip it over there casually, and the throw is off the mark. So Soto goes around the bag, avoids the tag, and then comes back an eyelash ahead of the tag. Costly E5.
So here's Campana hitting at .272. No homers. He's driven in 5. Takes a bunt, takes a strike. Campana 1 for 4 last night. And that's foul. Just foul.
Sonia got turned around, made a very good call considering that he had to pirouette his way out of that one. Take another look at it. He's right on the line. This ball is heading right toward him. He's able to turn but keep his eye on it all the way, and it was about 2 feet foul.
That ball was trying to hunt him down. So 0-2 the count to the speedster.
Campana will slap at it, and then it's tough to throw him out at first. He has a disadvantage of having Soto, a slow runner, where you can get a force out.
Well, that was a positive thing about him being on first. And it hits the foot. They're not going to get anybody.
Jake a little unhappy with himself. Does that ball right back to him? But as you can see, when you fall off that drastically to the right side, you're not in good fielding position. The ball hits his foot and no chance to get anybody.
So here's the Jesus. Struck out on a high fastball. Gap out there in right center. And the count 0-2.
Good backdoor breaking ball. De Jesus gave up on it. Finds himself in a pretty deep hole. He's only grounded into 3 double plays.
Tried to redo him, reboot him right there. Too high.
Jake really has only thrown 1 ground ball, and that was a line drive off his leg.
So both runners advance.
Going to be a wild pitch on Peavy. The only play, if you have one here, is going to be at third base. That ball bounces off the glove, then the chest protector. Peavy with just his 2nd wild pitch of the year.
Hit the bat.
Tyler wanted that one low and away. Jake got it up and in. Unfortunately, it caught the bat.
So full count with Castro on deck. Just got a piece of it. It is amazing just how much more errors are magnified in today's game than they have been in the past. Even though they hurt as much in the past, they're just that the spinoffs are much larger today.
So it puts a whole lot more pressure on the pitcher. He uses many more pitches to get out of an inning. Even if it doesn't show in that inning, it might show in the 6th or 7th. And it's always a problem giving a team 4 outs.
And it's the kind of pitch with the stress magnified.
If Jake has confidence, it's a great time for a straight change. He hasn't thrown many tonight. Occasionally the feel for that one will come to him a little bit later, but Tyler Flowers out to talk with him. Wants to know what Jake feels good about. Probably won't go through a set of signs. Just say, let me have it.
So once again, the payoff pitch. It's a 2-1 Cub lead.
Well, unfortunately, that was a straight change. The difference being that Jake got it up. And De Jesus drives in runs number 20 and 21. See the location. It's great change, but it's belt high. The pitch is designed to be at the knees and sinking.
So here's Castro. He singled in the right field. Jesus just 2 for 7 in stolen bases.
Last year he swiped just 4. They get a little frustration on that one. He threw it 93, which is his fastest fastball to this point.
That's a fair ball. 2 down. Here's the right fielder, Brian LaHare. He struck out in the first inning. Takes ball 1. Those leadoff walks and anytime errors. Most major league teams really. Count evens at 1.
You stay down there to Brian LaHare and he's not going to touch you.
Two balls in the strike. They're off to a quick start this season and slowed up. Count evens at 2.
That's the spot. Got 68 strikeouts this year. And early the league didn't know about that one. One time through, they found out about it.
He munched up with a quick 10 home runs.
He was hitting in the 340s, 350s for a while.
That's high, and that's into right center field. Gaza. But they get a big error. They take advantage of it, and they lead it 2-1.
to join the WGN Sports Game Zone, where you'll find up-to-the-minute stats and important game information. The Game Zone is sponsored by Safe Auto. Call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO now for a free quote with reduced rates up to 35%. Drive safe, spend less.
2 unearned runs for the Cubs here in the top of the third, and they lead it 2-1. Last inning, if you're just tuning in. Beckham takes a strike. Travis Wood walked 3 guys. We also had an RBI double in there, and that's all we could come up with. We make 1 error and they come up with 2. The contagion of our guys has gone negative. One and 2 the count. High pop up. Everybody converging. Castro taking charge. And that's out number 1. And fans, I'm going to be here in person next time our Sox take the field. We'll just head to StubHub. That's where it's easy to find great White Sox seats. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Chicago White Sox.
Wood has averaged just under 6 innings per start. So odds are the pitch total at 48 already. If we can put a little more pressure on him, it's going to be an earlier night to the pen than Dale Swain would like. Castro stays at shortstop, and Valbuena at deep second with Barney almost in right field.
Adam struck out his first trip. Takes strike 1. Paulie on deck. Bottom of the 6th at Comerica Park. Tigers and Verlander leading the Cardinals, and Lance Lynn, who started, he's out of there now. The right's in there. 6-1. One and 2 the count. Good eye, close pitch. Two down. Third strikeout for Wood. That'll bring up Paulie. He's 0 for 1. He had a line drive right back to the glove hand of Travis Wood.
Last 6 with Paulie's wrist getting a little better. A couple of home runs, 5 moving in. In the outfield, they play him straight away. Barney is playing him pretty much up the middle. There you look at the defense. In the infield, they play him as a pull hitter on the left side.
And this is going to be a quick 1, 2, 3 inning for Travis Wood. After 3, he leads it 2-1.
usually is catching. In his last 26 games, he's hitting .320 with 7 home runs and 20 driven in. This catcher profile is sponsored by Xfinity Home. Xfinity Home offers state-of-the-art features that help you stay connected to your home and family anytime, anywhere.
It's the top of the 4th. Soriano, Clevenger, and Barney to face star Jake Peavy. Soriano went out to Diaz. Top of the 7th, Cleveland still tied at 1 with Cincinnati. Two and 0.
You miss with 2 sliders. This is where Soriano becomes pretty dangerous. Not on that
back
pitch.
with a changeup to the 36-year-old outfield DH.
Jake about ready to deliver pitch number 50.
And it's the ball. Full count to Soriano.
Steve Clevenger in the on-deck circle.
Alexei. Lead man down. And voting is open for our All-Star game in Kansas City. Help send our favorite White Sox, your favorite, to this year's All-Star game by voting up to 25 times at whitesox.com. Visit whitesox.com and cast your ballot now for the 2012 All-Stars. Vote early, vote often. Vote today at whitesox.com. Clevenger grounded out to short. Takes strike 1.
Clevenger came out of the Cub organization, 7th round pick in 2006. Primarily a catcher. Playing first base until Anthony Rizzo gets here.
That's in the left field. Tank. 2 down. Darwin Barney will be the hitter. He popped up to Viciedo. Kansas City leading Houston 2-0. Top of the 4th. Down at the juice box. Hit him on the fist, pops him up. Piazza. That didn't take long. Nice, easy 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Cubs 2, our Sox 1. Rios, Viciedo, and Ramirez. 2-3-1 for them. 1-2 and a big one for us.
Second time through. Let's see if our lineup is a little more familiar with Wood. I know still he hasn't gotten a straight changeover, but he's hitting more with the fastball.
Alex walked and scored with one out. Walk back in the second inning. Watch out. Hang loose. Meanwhile, just a hard strike to move the count to 0-2. One down. Fourth strikeout for Wood.
Alex just got out and guessed on a fastball. Infinity pitch tracks will show you that one had the whole plate. And had Rios looking for something else.
There's Viciedo. He walked also back in the second. Takes ball one. Back to the middle and into center field.
In the second inning, Ramirez drove in run number 30. As this ball looked like it was heading foul, the wind blew it back in fair territory for a ground rule double. See what's possible with AT&T Uverse TV and AT&T high-speed internet. Rethink possible.
Takes it up and takes ball one. Wood's persistent.
He's trying to get that first pitch strike with a fastball inside, and he hasn't gotten one tonight.
You know, the funny thing about it, though, is that a lot of times, even though it's not called for a strike, it's still a pretty good pitch. Ball high and deep. Stretch. Campana back right in front of the fence. Hauls it in. He just missed it.
Wood has given up a lot of home runs. This was almost number 8. And Alexei thinks it's got a chance. Campana tracking it all the way. Exit with about 2 steps to spare.
Well, last night that was out of here. Anything that went up in the air with anything on it was gone. So here is Tyler. He walked also back in the second. If you're just tuning in, you might say, well, Honky just said Rios walked. There's one out in the second. Viciedo walked behind him. It was a double by Alexei, knocking in a run. Then Flowers walked. We only got 1 run. Yeah, that's it. Hudson popped up. Diaz struck out. Here's the strike. Second of 3 in this series.
Nice block by Soto. That one dipped down and in. One of the few breaking sliders that Wood has thrown tonight.
Short lead by Tank. And Sox fans, Sunday, June 24th, will have 70s Day here at US Cellular Field. First 10,000 children 13 and under in the ballpark on the 24th will receive a kid's 1972 replica jersey, courtesy of Pepsi. That's Sunday, June 24th. They say hard but fun. First 10,000 children 13 and under. That beautiful 1972 replica jersey. Strikeouts now for Wood, and we're into the fifth, trailing 2-1. Jake has concluded his warm-up tosses. It'll be the lower third of the Cub order. Valbuena, Soto, and Campana.
Valbuena swing the bat better than anybody in this Cub lineup in this series.
He's always swung it well against us.
He was at Iowa this year, hitting .303. Gets sent down to the minor leagues on the 7th of April. Recently recalled.
And Alejandro had to make a very fine catch on him fighting that win on that vicious line drive he hit in center field. Oh, and 2 the count. White Sox shot out to Alex Williams. Haines City, son of Ranger. Guy who's got a lot of my money on the golf course. Look good. 2-2 the count. Another souvenir left side. Foul straight back. Upper tank. There's a chopper to Hopper. 1 out.
That was the best changeup that Jake has thrown tonight. He kept it in the spot he wanted. It's 8 miles an hour slower than his fastball, and he had Valbuena well out in front.
Here's Soto. Hit an easy ground ball down to third at Orlando. Hudson threw wild to first. He reached, and that started off that 2-run third inning. 2 down.
Now you've got to play close enough to take the bunt away from Campana. With 2 outs and nobody on, he'll be thinking about it.
Speed is something that opposition teams hate to have to contend with.
Not many faster from the left side from home to first than this guy.
Well, you take all the great hitters in the last 53 years. There've been a bunch of them. Ted Williams's, Stan Musial's, Mickey Mantle's, Roger Maris's, Willie Mays, on and on and on, and then the 70s and 80s and 90s guys, Wires and the Sotos. Greatest offensive player I have ever seen was not one of those guys, Ricky Henderson, because of that speed. Pops that one up. That's just like a strikeout for him. And that'll retire the side. Another nice. That's 8 in a row retired by the Jake Meister. We're halfway home, but we trail it 2-1. It'll be Hudson, then back to the top of the order with Diaz and Beckham as Travis Wood gave up the 1 run in the second when he ran into a whole bunch of problems walking free, giving up an RBI double. But when he had to, he got Hudson to pop up weakly to short and Diaz to strike out. And you know what's on Orlando's mind is the little redeemer here, making that error that led to the 2 runs. One and one to count. And that's a souvenir.
Hudson has been a much better hitter this side from the left side. Came in hitting just 118 as a right-hand hitter.
Two balls, two strikes. And a high pop-up. Barney now called off by Castro, and that's out number one. Coming up Piazza as the rookie skipper, Dale Swaim, good guy. He was with us for a while back in 1992. He played right beside that guy right there for 30 games at shortstop.
And both first-year managers.
Ventura at third and Swaim at short for 30 games in 1992. Off the end of the bat, and that's going to fall for a little duck snort, and he makes the catch. What a nice play, or a nice recovery by Castro. Got it in the glove, popped out, and then bare hands it. You're talking about a ton of talent.
Well, the tough part about this one was that it was hit off the end of the bat. It was actually slicing away from Castro, moving to his left, showing pretty good hands as he takes a base hit away from Piazza. And because he's our best base stealer, that could turn out to be a key play in this game.
Here's Beckham. He's hit into a 6-4-3 double play, and he also has popped up to Castro. Change up, turns it over. Two and 0. Nothing with Adam Dunn on deck. It didn't take long. Ball four. So the fourth walk issued by Wood. Adams had a tough time against this young left-hander. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Takes ball one. They get the shift on. Castro at short. Wayne out there at right center. Barney out there and right. Two and 0 with Konerko on there.
Soto going out there to talk now about the location of pitch number 82. High pitch total for Wood as he's now through the 5th. But he's averaged just under 6 innings per start. So although Swaim does not have the bullpen up yet, he wants to see how many pitches he has getting out of this inning.
The ball hit high into center field. DeJesus is there right in front of Bacardi at the park sign, holds it in. That'll retire the side. Gave us a thrill for a moment. Meanwhile, we're into the 6th. We still trail 2-1. to face Jake Peavy, who's given up 2 runs, both of them unearned. 2-3-1 for them, 1-3-1 for us.
High change up to DeJesus. One of the few mistakes Jake has made. Hasn't made many. That one was costly.
That's foul. And you can join the White Sox on June 23rd at 6:15 as they take on the Brewers. First 20,000 fans receive a Sox magnetic photo frame presented by U.S. Cellular. Stick around after the game for post-game fireworks. So purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. One and one to count.
There are the numbers so far. Nary a walk for Jake. He's been very good.
Watch out.
And DeJesus so out in front of this one that he lost the handle. And it appears that everybody is okay.
He gone. 1 out. Just the 3rd strikeout for the Jake Meister. Here is that bundle of talent. Starlin Castro a single and a 5-4 fielder's choice he hit into. Got to hurry. That gun. He gone. Beautiful. 2 down. So here's Brian LaHare, a strikeout and a flyout to center. Finale of the series tomorrow night. Gavin Floyd against Randy Wells. Ryan Dempster is scheduled to go, but he went on the DL with a bad lat. I certainly hope he's all right. He's one of our favorite National Leaguers.
What a year he's had. ERA of 2.11. He's 2nd in the National League in earned run average, despite a 3-3 record. He pitched brilliant.
He's a terrific pitcher. There's the strike and the count 2-1. He's the kind of pitcher that will really enhance a contending team.
He comes back and shows that he's healthy. They're going to get a lot for him because there's going to be at least 5 teams that would be interested. There's a look at Ryan.
Fisted him into right field. And another quick 1-2-3 inning. That's 11 in a row retired by Jake, but he's given up 2 unearned runs and trails at 2-1.
and $1 million. It was a Miller Lite $1 million pitch. As you can see, Janet was just a little short.
A little low.
So she didn't win the million, but she had the thrill of a lifetime. And Miller Lite gave her the opportunity.
All right, boys, it might behoove us to get a run or two here. We trail it 2-1, and one of those runs, as Bob Rosenberg just came over and correctly told us, one was earned because of a wild pitch. We forgot about the wild pitch. Two, 3-1 for them, 1, 3-1 for us. So here's Paulie. And that's a good way to start it off. Paulie now 1 for 3.
He's been watching Wood most of the evening, trying to use that fastball to get inside on the right-hand hitters. So though this one didn't get inside, Paulie looking first ball fastball. It was up in the zone. He drove it into left field.
Well, thinking-wise, there's not a smarter hitter in the American League than Paul Konerko. That's why we occasionally call him a professor, because he has his PhD in hitting. And here's Alex. And when Paulie's his wrists are starting to get a little better, but he's been playing with those sore things. It's high in the right center field. LaHare. 1 out. That'll bring it Viciedo. He has walked and he has singled.
Saw Chris Bosio as he emerged from behind Dale Swaim, making that call to the bullpen, and for the first time tonight, that bullpen up and going. Sean Camp, who we saw last night for 2 innings, loosening up in the pen.
That's foul back and out of play. Now, most of the time you'll see managers, especially even more so in today's game than in years past, when you get in a 1-run or a close ball game into the 7th inning, 8th inning, you will have a right-hander and a left-hander up in that bullpen, just soft tossing, so you don't get caught short in a hurry. And it's a lot easier today because you got 7 men down in that bullpen.
He also has a pitcher that has nearly a complete game and has averaged less than 6 innings.
The only time you don't see that to be a regular occurrence is when you got a Verlander out there, or Sabathia, guys like that.
Verlander has given way.
They better start giving way a little bit with him.
They move into the bottom of the 8th, with Detroit leading 6-3 over St. Louis.
All right, hit, takes that Bolingbrook bounce, and they'll turn it over. So we get the leadoff man aboard, can't do anything with it, and we're into the 7th, trailing 2-1. Soriano, Clevenger, and Barney to face Jake Peavy. Breaking ball, wouldn't chase it, just off the corner. And the count 3-0.
There's a chance, even leading off an inning with bad legs, that Soriano has a 3-0 green light.
There's a strike.
Not going to swing at that one. That ball was off the corner, outside. Even if you have 2 green lights, you're taking that.
Full count. Soriano is going out to center, grounded to short, comes in with 13 homers and 43 RBIs, but most of that damage has been done lately. And another souvenir.
Last month, Soriano, one of the most prolific home run hitters in all of baseball.
Just got a piece of that one. High in the right field. Boy, for his size, some of the wiriest, sinewy strength you'll ever see in baseball. He had one last night. If you missed that game, they measured at 440, right over that 400 sign in center field, way back in the second tier of that. Of course, my all-time little guy for power was the toy cannon,
Jimmy Wynn from the Houston Astros.
Unbelievable how far he could hit it. He used a 36-36 U1. That's a big bottle barrel with a big handle. Good one to Clevenger, who's grounded to short and going out to left.
Cubs bullpen continues to work. So you would think for Wood, Dale Swain probably got the 6 innings he wanted out of him with the lead. There's Sean Camp, so I figure he's coming into it.
That's tough foul. Next pitch will be number 94 for Jake, giving up just 1 earned run and 3 hits. He gone.
Fourth strikeout for Peavy. He doesn't have any walks. Threads the needle on the outside corner, and emphatically CB rings him up.
Darwin Barney popped up to left and gone out to center. It's a curveball strike. That's into left field. That's a can of corn. And that is 14 in a row retired by Jake, but he trails it 2-1.
There's a look at Sean Camp. We saw him for 2 innings last night in relief of Matt Garza. Gave up a hit, fan 2, and that was it. He comes on at 2-4, ERA 3.5, on for the 34th time. And he'll go through the bottom part of the order. The man who's hit the ball pretty hard tonight, leading off, Alexei Ramirez.
Alexei, that RBI double back in the second when we had a golden opportunity to really put some points on the board. With 1 out, a walk to Rios, a walk to Viciedo, a double by Alexei. Then the walk to Flowers, loaded him up. Hudson popped up, and Diaz struck out. Curveball, no. Steve mentioned last night, camp, I should say. 2 innings. Scoreless, just 1 hit, no walks, 2 strikeouts.
It was Adam Dunn who got the 1 hit. Bullpen up and going once again for the Cubs. James Russell throwing in the pen.
Well, that was really the only inning that Travis Wood had a big problem in and had stones enough to pitch himself out of it. You remind me a little bit of C.J. Wilson out there.
Despite having a lot of control issues early, he battled.
Just battled. That's right. That's what C.J. does.
Gave up just the 4 hits.
Alexei did not like that call. Don't blame him. 2-2 the count. That breaking ball in the center to Jesus.
Perhaps the biggest out of the inning with bases loaded, only 1 out. Orlando Hudson pops up. And then Diaza on a fastball goes down on strikes. And what looked like a very promising inning yielded only the 1 run. And we trail by one lone run as AJ comes on to pinch hit.
Tyler Flowers tonight was 0 for 1 with a walk.
AJ's had just 3 opportunities to pinch hit because he plays most of the time.
Barney times it perfectly. A nice timing leap by Darwin Barney to take a base hit away from AJ.
This one was ticketed to right field. Barney had other ideas. Balbuena is back at third. Good bunt possibility.
Backdoor curveball. That's in his pop to short twice. Two out, 0-2 the count. Well, I remember when we used to tattoo Sean Kemp when he came up with that curveball, and since then he's been tattooing us.
He was in Toronto's pen for a while. He finds himself as one of the mainstays in the Cub bullpen.
Shanks that one out in left field. Campana with that good speed, no problem. Camp with a very easy 1-2-3 inning, and we'll go to the 8th. As you look at AJ Pierzynski coming in to catch Valbuena. Soto and Campana. Wayne 0 for 2, a line shot into center field. Piazza had to stay with it because of that wind and made a very fine catch. 0-2 the count.
Matt Thornton throwing gently in the Sox bullpen. Jake has hit the century mark in pitches. Here's a look at Matt.
Gordon's going to get him again for the second time in a row. 1 out. Our young right-handers can't learn anything from watching Jake Peavy pitch. Shame on them.
Well, they don't have the finesse quite yet that Jake has, and Jake's had to learn the finesse because 3 years in a row he struck out over 200 men. He was just a flat-out power pitcher. Went over 200 innings, struck out more men than innings pitched, including that big year of 2007 when he won the Cy. He's had to reinvent himself after revolutionary surgery. He's a different pitcher now, but equally as effective.
Well, those 2 guys right there, Garza and Samardzija, you better believe they'll watch him and learn something from him from the other side of that dugout. 2 down. It's like we used to always talk about young left-handers who aspire to be major league pitchers who don't throw hard. All they had to do was watch Mark Burley.
Even some that did throw a little bit harder. Johnny Danks learned a whole lot from Mark Burley.
I think he learned more. Johnny's always, I think, since we've had him at least, been a terrific competitor. But he even learned how to ratchet it up just a little bit more watching Burley. Little Butcher Boy try. If he ever gets that in his arsenal, then he's going to get probably anywhere from a minimum of 10 to 15 hits more a year.
Well, the problem on this one, it was almost over his head. He had to reach up as he was going. When he was set up, if that ball was on the inner half, that's probably a base hit. But he had to reach up and couldn't quite get on top of it as he wanted.
Got a mistake up there, and Campana makes him pay, so that breaks the streak of 16 in a row retired by Peavy. And good speed aboard.
Hopefully AJ has his arm loosened up as this is his first inning defensively. Because if they don't run with Campana here, probably will be an investigation.
De Jesus. Couple of strikeouts and then that big 2-run single back in the 3rd inning.
Mark Parent who calls the pitch outs as AJ looks over there. You very rarely see a 1-0 pitch out. But this is the time Campana probably looking to run. Jake's going to throw to first here.
Yes! They nail him. Jake with that quick move, and that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th. We need one to tie.
Peavy goes over to first base. Campana breaks the wrong way. They put the tag on him, and they get him. The call by Bill Miller. The Anything's Possible replay is brought to you by the Illinois Lottery, who each day make anything possible. And James Russell comes into the game. Russell at 2-0, the ERA 2.5 on for the 35th time. It was Wood for 6, Camp for 1, and now Russell. 1 for 1 in save opportunities, but now the closer role belongs to Carlos Marmol as Reed Johnson comes in the game defensively in right.
Top of the order for our guys here in the bottom of the 8th. Diaza, Beckham, and Dine. Face Russell. Takes a bunt, takes a breaking ball strike. Softly hit out in front of the mound, so 2 pitches and a big out. 1 down, and you can stop by Bacardi at the Park at U.S. Cellular Field at the Gate 5 Plaza. Bacardi at the Park offers a full menu from Gibson's Restaurant Group and opens at 11 a.m. before all home games. It's a great place to hang out and watch the action on over 70 HD TVs.
This is a 1-run game, and neither team has really distinguished themselves. The Cubs 7-17 in 1-run games. Our Sox 7-9 in 1-run games.
Well, we were swinging the bats great. It's hard to sustain that for a long period of time. But obviously our bats have gone a little silent lately.
Manny Corpus starts to throw in the bullpen.
And the count 3-1.
Campana playing well off the line in left field. There's plenty of room to drive it down there. As Valbuena playing on the line. I think Gordon thought this was ball 4.
Fouls that back to our right. In that last road trip, we ran into a couple of really well-pitched games, one by Lance Lynn. We had no chance against him, and then Chris Capuano pitched a heck of a ball game. As there's ball 4. Yes. Well, here comes Adam. He's 0 for 3. He's due.
Well, tying went on for the big man, who last time up as a final out in the 5th inning just got under 1. He didn't miss it by much.
Jacks it up and takes strike 1.
They can't shift quite as much with Beckham at first. Outfield deep all the way around, and you'd figure if you get by Dunn, you got Corpus for Konerko.
Adam in the big hole, nothing in 2.
Against the Cubs, although the average not that high, he's been devastating throughout his career, especially at Wrigley Field.
He did not go. Big gap out there in left center. Big enough to score Beckham if he can find it. And the count 2-2. Good job by Gordon.
Great stop by Soto. That one could have easily gotten by him. Here's a guy coming back from knee surgery. Little meniscus repair, showing he still has some mobility. This is a big stop in the grand scheme of things because he saves 90 feet and a potential go-ahead run out at second base.
And a good job by Gordon. He could have easily taken off there and been thrown out. So the payoff pitch. Boy, he was all over that one and just underneath it.
Russell tries to throw a slider, puts it where the big man can handle it, but he just fouled it back.
3-2 get me over. Just got a piece of that one. Gordon not taking anything for granted.
Might as well go. They'll tell you you have to go back.
And that's foul.
Good battle from Adam Dunn. It's Addison Reed getting ready just in case we can push across a pair.
And that's ball 4. Here comes Konerko.
Now we'll see if they pinch run for Dunn, representing the go-ahead run. And yes, they are. It's Jordan Danks. That's a go-ahead potential winning run. Dale Swain comes out. That's probably going to be it for Russell, as Corpus will no doubt come into this one with the two right-handers, Konerko and Rios, staring him right in the face. So he points to the bullpen. The game on the bases. And we'll be back after these messages. Does have a 1.13 ERA on for the 7th time. He missed all of last year with Tommy John surgery. And unlike his stint with the Colorado Rockies, he now throws low 3/4, sometimes sidearm to the right-handers. So there is a meeting at the mound. And let's see how they want to work Paulie.
Well, he's never been what you call a strikeout pitcher. You know, he had those 19 saves with the Rockies.
He had a perfect 9th in last night's game.
And here we go. 1 out, 2 on. We trail it 2-1 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Konerko, the hitter, with Rios on deck.
A lot different coming into a clean inning, which he did last night in the 9th, as opposed to coming in with the game on the bases. A lot different.
Big time. Outfield straight up, spread out, just about equidistant. Paulie flares it out there. Long way to go, and he's going to get there. So Reed makes the catch for out number 2.
Johnson playing deep, respecting Paulie's power, and this ball hangs right over the middle of the plate. It's a slider that normally Paulie crushes, not that time, as Johnson, brought in defensively, pays some dividends. He had a long way to come for that. Gordon Beckham wondering if this one is going to fall. You don't tag up on these. You go halfway and you're going to score if that ball falls.
Pass up to Alex, who has walked, scored, early run, struck out, and run out to right. Breaking ball low and away.
With Clevenger well off the bag, Jordan Danks can get a big enough lead where if Alex can hit the gap. He can score easily from first. He's tried 2 sliders and missed with them both.
Jordan coming back very quickly after the pitch, because a lot of teams in this situation will try a slider pitch out. That was just to get me over right there, and to count 2-1. Checks it up.
Bill Miller said he went. Alex can't believe it. But Miller's got the deciding vote. Another slider that misses down. Look at it from the side. Looks like he checked it from here.
He didn't, from real time, it didn't look like he went. That was not a check swing strike. And a big difference, and that being a check swing strike or a ball. Meanwhile, we'll go to the 9th. Got a bad call and couldn't do anything with it. Now it's the top of the 9th. We trail it 2-1. To Jesus. Takes ball 1.
No way in the world that Jake wants to come out of this one. Undoubtedly,
him out of there with a back hook.
Undoubtedly, Carlos Marmol is going to come in, and control with him has always been a factor. So Jake's got to hold him right there at 1.
The ball hit hard into right center field. Gauger can't get there. Now that high hop's going to take him into third. So the leadoff triple.
Our 4th drive of the game, and Jake makes another mistake with a changeup. The same mistake he made with a changeup back in the 3rd inning to the same hitter. That was a 2-run single. This a leadoff triple. Now the infield forced to come in at all 4 positions.
And a tough customer to plate in Castro. He's 1 for 3.
But Reed Johnson in the on-deck circle, he came on defensively for Brian LaHare. Didn't get that call.
Jake knocks it down and throws him out.
The Fall did a great job.
Wow.
Because that ball was right into the runner. Paulie risking that left arm. Able to make the catch. Jake really didn't have much of an angle when this ball caroms off him, and Castro can really run. That ball right in front of Castro's face.
That was a terrific play on Jake's part and Paulie.
And we'll see if Jake's okay after that throw. He got him. He got him by a half step, but Hermie's coming out to talk, I believe, with Jake.
Boy, that angle he had, I didn't think he was going to make a good throw there. He did. Just good enough for Paulie to catch it.
Thought he had a good chance to hit him in the back. And Jake, I think, on that ball off his foot, now assures Hermie that he's not coming out of this one.
So here's Johnson Reed making his first plate appearance. Everybody in on the grass. As there's a breaking ball strike.
Got a guy up next, Soriano, who's grounded into 10 double plays. If you don't, for whatever reason, get Johnson, and De Jesus stays at third. This one low and out of the zone. Alexi freezes De Jesus before going to first easily. And now you dodge 2 bullets.
That'll bring up Soriano. And Cleveland in 10 innings just got a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 10th. As Drupal Cabrera. And Cleveland wins it 3-2. Breaking ball. Pretty good pitch. Didn't get it. Jake says, where was it?
Jake just shaking his head. Thought it came over the plate. The strike. Jake gets out of this one. A lot of momentum going in the bottom of the 9th inning. Steve Clevenger in the on-deck circle.
And he's hacking. Pull the string on him. First walk of the game issued by Peavy. And Sox fans, Mullet Night is Friday, June 22nd, and all fans invited to stay for a post-game fireworks display presented by Great Clips. Remember Great Clips? This is going to be great. Coop's coming out. Also, as Coop goes out there, if you're hitting the road, you can take the White Sox with you, because all you got to do is subscribe to MLB.TV today to see every White Sox out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. So visit whitesox.com to order and get more details.
Well, Coop's had his say. It's a rookie Clevenger up with runners at the corners. Tonight he's kept everything away from Clevenger. If he's come in, he's come way in off the plate.
Got in on him right there. Fouls it back, and the count 0-1. Short lead by Soriano. Count evens at 1. For our guys in the bottom of the ninth. Schedule hitters. DeCieto, Lexi, AJ, Hudson. Hopefully that'll be enough. Foul back for a 1-2 count.
As quickly as Jake delivers, I wouldn't mind seeing Paulie in back of Soriano. He's got terrible legs and doesn't run much anymore.
Yes, he did. Oh, man. Oh, man.
And Iasonia says no. That slider in the dirt. AJ does a great job of blocking it.
Berlin Rios went by a long shot. We should press. Pitches out of it. The leadoff triple leaves him right there. We go to the bottom of the ninth. We need one to tie.
He got Clevenger looking. Backdoor breaking ball, perfect pitch. Runner at third, nobody out. Jake Peavy gets out of the inning, keeps it a 2-1 game. And what a competitor he is. So Carlos Marmol comes into this one. Marmol at 1-2, ERA 5.79 on for the 24th time. He's got 3 saves. Recently reinstated as a closer. You see 22 walks in 18 2/3 innings. If you're patient, he will walk you.
So here's Viciedo. Tank is walk single. He is 1 for 2. First pitch strike.
That's really the comfort pitch for Marmol. He feels he has much better command of the slider than he does of the fastball.
And the count 0-2. Come on, Tank. Cut it out with him. Attaboy. 2-5-1 for them, 1-4-1 for us. Fastball at 95 to even the count at 2. And it's full.
Tonight's game is available in Spanish on your SAP audio setting. It's provided by 97.5 FM ESPN Deportes, Chicago's first and only FM Spanish language sports radio station.
There was a get me over and fouls it away. One out.
That slider did have the plate.
Alexei fouls that one away. That one at 96. Come on, Alexei. Two balls and a strike. AJ, the on deck hitter. He got a cookie right there and couldn't do anything with it.
Hung that slider right over the middle of the plate at 85.
Wow. Good check. Full count.
He's going to try that slider right at him and break it over the corner. like he tried to do with Viciato.
That's a fair ball. 2 down. Here's AJ. He's been to play one time, hit a line shot. Darwin Barney at second base, timed perfectly to sky as high as he could to make the play. Slider strike. One and one to count. Checks it up. He did not go. And the count 3-1. And it's a full count.
Full count of all 3 hitters this inning. Orlando Hudson in the on-deck circle.
Well, Jake, last time out, gave up 1 run and lost it 1-0. Tonight he's given up 2 runs, 1 earned, and he trails it 2-1. Fans on their feet. And the payoff pitch. That's ball 4. So we stay alive. So that'll bring up Hudson, who's 0 for 3. A couple of pop-ups to short and a pop-up to left.
Outfield going to play Hudson deeper than he's probably ever been played. So there's plenty of room to dump it in front of them as they play a no doubles defense.
Slider strike. We're down to our last bullet. 2 out, 0-2 the count. We trail it 2-1 here in the bottom of the 9th.
Scott Main loosening up. Recently recalled from AAA.
Ground ball, and this ball game is over. Jake Peavy, if he didn't have any bad luck, he wouldn't have any luck at all, as he loses to Lance Lynn in St. Louis 1-0, and he loses tonight, giving up 1 earned run, 2-1, and we'll be back.